All right. Well, welcome everyone to the follow-up campaign to Pandemonious Rises. Welcome to the Archons and the War of Oblivion.
He said it. He said the thing.
He said the thing.
He said the
A
line. He said the line.
Real quick recap from the first campaign. A group of heroes met in the town of Figaro. The town was beset by a raid from the local tribe of goblins. Many individuals were taken, including the local magistrate's daughter, and he implored the party to go out, find these goblins, save his daughter, and bring everybody back. The party did just that, and while they were out there, they encountered these goblins, and their leader said something strange, mentioned something known as Pandemonious, and had like a note and like a weird religious artifact that you took back to town. The magistrate had no idea what it was and said, hey, you should check the library in Baron. I'm sure that massive wealth of knowledge they have there will have some idea what this is. After some events, you did finally make it to that village. Heroes learned a little bit more. It was definitely, whatever this Pandemonious is or was a weapon of some sort. And some individuals had, at one point or another, harnessed its powers. So, with a little bit of a, well, where should we start poking around? They decided to start poking around some ancient ruins that Arturo happened to know about. Had a friend up there, Sevilius Runepath, that was currently, investigating, searching, taking a look at these ancient elven ruins they found. And so Arturo was like, let's go check those out. Let's see what he knows, see if we can get some help there. And so a journey began heading north along the King's Road. A lot of things happened along that road. We lost some party members, some who retired from adventuring life, some who unfortunately passed on to the next great whatever it is waiting for us. We picked up some new party members. We made a little bit of a home in the town of Kolingen, this nice little clay town, that ran on the local clay trade, making bricks, selling bricks, moving bricks, anything clay. It's got something going on in Kolingen. You'd also stopped out of the resort town of Jador, poked around there, and then fled as you felt you were being pursued by individuals. And it was shortly after fleeing that everything went a little bit topsy-turvy, upsy-daisy, whoopsie-poopsie. We had an existential crisis in the realm of dreams that then had a cascading effect that led to our heroes meeting with Archons, ancient heroes from a previous age, going to the City of Doors, to its library, to seek out another one of these Archons who was currently held by an ancient fire elemental. Fire elemental was handily defeated. The Archon released, and our heroes given a proper thank you, and brought back to the world of Hatoria. The world they returned to was much different. Some things had happened while they were gone that they unfortunately had been unable to prevent. And Pandemonious, whatever this being, this entity, this energy was, had manifested, broken free of its prison, torn a massive hole in the world of Hatoria, and fled. Feeling somewhat overwhelmed, our heroes then dispersed to take some time to heal, to train, to go through their montage of getting more power. Till finally a war council has been convened. Each of you has been called in one manner or another, either sent by someone who heard the call and received the message, or sent to chase someone who had then been sent, or who is in fact returning, having been very deeply invested and connected to seeing this turned around. So we've got Arturo and Spark who will be returning, and we'll meet two new heroes as well. We'll get to hear from all of them, get a little bit of an update and a peek at who these new individuals are. And we'll get to find out what's been happening in these last 2 months on the world of Hatoria, since Pandemonious broke free from their crypt. Has now been in hiding. 2 months have passed. we'll get a little bit of a catch-up with all the world. We'll start a war council as this group comes together to decide how we're going to tackle this, how we're going to handle this threat, this ancient being that once brought so much of creation to the brink of destruction. How are we going to stop it? What's the plan? We'll get to that and more as our heroes set off on their brand new adventure. We'll be starting off in a somewhat familiar place, though it's going to look a little bit different than it did the last time any of you saw it. So the worst has come to pass, and an ancient evil from outside of our reality has been released from its prison to once more threaten all of creation. An enemy to all life, being known as Pandemonius, who was one time responsible for bringing down 4 of the most powerful civilizations to have ever existed, even to this day. And this being who helped bring about an end to an entire age of existence, once more, is freed. One time sealed away on this, the former homeworld of the Celestian Star Empire, Pandemonius has been biding their time and waiting for the first chance to break free and finish the cleansing of our reality that it began so long ago. The former prison that it was in has been shattered. A moment of desperate panic as a sudden attack, led by the Legionnaires and a familiar Captain Bronson. An attack that threatened Pandemonius's carefully laid plans. The rift opened, Pandemonius was freed, the land forever shattered and scarred. Now, creatures from outside of our reality have been bleeding into the material plane, centralized in this initial location, but openings have been detected across all the world. These creatures threatening and consuming life wherever they can find a purchase, wherever they can find easy victims. No corner of Hetoria has been left free of the rotting touch of the rift. Enemies and allies, friends, foe alike, have slowly had to start to band together to weather the storm, to have any hope, any chance of defeating whatever it is that has come to Hetoria. 2 long months since the Oblivion scar was torn into the face of the frontier east of Imola. Time has been bought and paid for in the desperate currency of blood. Time enough to allow a young druid to be trained and shaped into the world druid, someone who will speak with the very heart and soul of the planet itself, someone to fight for all those on Hetoria who might not otherwise have a voice. Time as well for heroes to be called from across the world, to answer the summons in a bold new endeavor, and of course time for a rising star amongst the ranks of the fiend to grow into newfound and unprecedented powers. But finally the hour draws near, and once more a council is called and formed the ruins of a once thriving logging village. This council is to be the first bold step in fighting back against the rift. Finally, the defenders of Hetoria will be taking a proactive stance with an end goal of taking the fight to Pandemonius itself. The council has much it must do before victory can be secured. But luckily, they have allies in the Archons, ancient heroes from a past age who have returned to ensure that their hard work from that age isn't undone. Returning heroes and new champions alike make their way to Vector to share information and make plans for a battle yet to come. Meanwhile, somewhere on Hetoria, Pandemonius itself lurks, still waiting for the time for its strength to fully return so that it can continue its crusade against existence. It has finally come. The time is nigh to bring to a close the greatest task of the First Age, and to decide a final victor in the War of Oblivion, and to see a final fate of those who are still fighting it. Those that we know as the Archons. So our story will begin here. And what was once a logging village, now turned into a, at times, command post for individuals who would fight back against the Rift. Vector has weathered many attacks and many storms from these Rift creatures. Though we are currently in what seems to be a bit of a lull, which is why the Council has decided that now is the time to finally come together and make these plans. Hoping that this hesitation, this moment they've been offered, is enough to set the stage for victory to come. Many are already gathered and waiting as the last few of our council arrive. There is a mere handful, a small, showy force of local guards who will happily allow these last individuals to approach and to attend the council meeting. The main force of the arms that the group currently has access to are located somewhere further away, about a day, maybe a day and a half ride from where we are. So that the hope is that this meeting is done in clandestine areas, quickly, quietly, and the Rift will never find out. Does anyone want to introduce themselves and their character first, or should we roll for it?
Let the dice have their say.
As is
We'll roll
tradition.
for it. It is. It's good
no.
tradition. In that case, the first individual upon the steps that will lead towards their destiny is a familiar warlock, the billowing cloak, now with a hood pulled up, some nice fancy looking gloves, and probably invisible at the moment because that's just how he does, but still riding high on the shoulder, a small little imp smoking a cigar. Spark, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Well, Spark is, as mentioned, a warforged fiend warlock, and he has been through some shit in the past. Well, not just the past campaign, but also the past couple of months. Getting stronger and learning more about the powers he has, I'll say, inherited and acquired. Where is he going, by the way? I take it the far building down the road.
The meeting place is the large building that you'd already been to. The former, I believe it was a former tavern, has now been turned into more of a like city hall sort of building. But yes, this one down here is where the meeting is supposed to be taking place. You can see, again, there are not very many of them, but, saving space, there are a couple of soldiers that will wave you on, some of them recognizing you from the last time you were here.
Should I be seeing guards? Because
You should not. There are no
Oh,
tokens
okay.
for them. That's what I meant by saving space. There's enough people at this meeting.
Yeah, so Spark is familiar with this area. He's been through here many times over the last couple of months, working with the Archons and etc. So he's expecting to see a lot of familiar faces here. And as he's
At the
walking down the
moment.
path, oh, go ahead.
At the moment, the soldiers are the familiar faces you see. Everyone else supposedly has already made their way to the meeting.
It's fine. They'll get started without me, probably. So, Havoc. Think we're
Yeah,
actually
boss.
going to learn anything new here? Or is it going to be more of the same doomsday speak as usual?
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I do expect to hear at least some stuff, I don't know what's been going on across the ocean there. We know a lot about what's been going around here.
We don't get a ton of news of beyond the ocean. Hell, it feels like we get more news of other planets than we do here.
Yep. That do be the way it is. Damn. They tore down whole buildings. Look at this.
Well, they had a lot of work to do after the initial attack, I suppose.
Yeah, you make a good point.
They've done their job reinforcing this place, though.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
Now, I wonder where they got all this weaponry from.
I mean, I think a lot of it looks like it was the buildings that was here. They just tore them down and then turned them into, like, fortifications. So good repurposing the material that way. But, I'm guessing money. Yeah, like a lot of money.
We seem to be running low on that, by the way.
Yeah, I could really use some of that. Actually, can I? I don't even know. What would I do with it? I just follow you around.
What would you do with it? I'll let you think on that.
I'd buy a boat.
What do you need a boat for? You can fly.
Yeah, but, why not? I like boats.
You would buy a boat.
Don't judge him, it's for lounging.
Would he be able to make his way in here?
You would. The doors do not appear to be barred or locked or anything. You can hear voices from inside.
Well, Spark will not bother to knock and will open the door and step in.
How rude.
They're used to that.
That's probably true. As you step inside, the room is absolutely full, fuller than you've seen it in a while. Every once in a while, there would be 4 or 5 people here, plus some number of the Archons. But today, the seating area seems to be quite limited. You do recognize a few familiar faces amongst them. I'm sure you recognize, like, Sedna, for instance, the Blood Hunters you probably recognize, the individuals from the Hegemony you recognize, and you probably recognize Civilius as well. You do not see any of the Archons at the moment.
Not seeing anyone in particular he wants to go sit next to. He will take one of these benches that's not occupied.
They welcome you in. give you, a few of them that recognize you, give you, very polite, welcoming nods. And at the head there, this individual, we're just waiting on a few more, and we'll get started.
Take your time. It's not like I've got anything to wait for.
Meanwhile, this individual shows up with this individual.
Oh, hey. This is Arturo, a Circle of Dreams Druid. And his friend, Lilthus.
Look how handsome he is.
And you got a new art, which is going to be replaced soon. But there he is.
Yeah. New art for the new art.
And
Forgot to
much
do
like...
Spark.
Yeah, it's pretty new. But much like Spark, he's had a busy couple of months. He's been on a different continent. After not really leaving his home for his entire life, he found out there's other continents, and he went to one for 2 months in the summer to learn how to be a better druid. Because he was kind of limited in how much he knew about the world and how to use his powers, so he needed whipping into shape.
He's all grown up now.
Looks like it took, though, right? He came out looking like a Chad.
Right?
He had a glow up over the summer. Okay, so this is... Okay, Lily, this is my first day and I'm terrified. This is real world druid stuff, okay?
Well, yes, that's literally why you're here. It's why I came to pick you up in the first place.
I know, it's been training and now it's real. And now it's a little bit, I'm getting palpitations, Lily.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be fine.
What is Lily? I'm squinting. I can't.
She's a centaur.
Oh, okay.
She is specifically an Alseid, which is elven deer centaur. Whereas normal centaurs are human horse, this is elven deer.
Interesting. And very pretty.
Indeed she is. Lily, did they take our tree that we left through? Because I'm sure we left from a tree over there, but now it seems like they're building things.
Lily will blink her eyes, looking ahead, and actually slowly nod. It does seem, in fact, as if that tree is gone.
So that's why we had to walk for like 20 minutes.
It does explain why my aim was off, yes.
Hey, that's not your fault. You couldn't have known that they cut down the tree. I had this whole grand entrance planned. And now here, look at him, walking like a schmuck.
Lily looks down at her hooves. Do I also walk like a schmuck?
What? No, you're full of grace, Lily. It's fine.
She will smirk. Continuing on, giving nods to the soldiers, just being, polite as she, is. Make her way to the door with Arturo.
Right, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to walk in and everyone's going to be like, hey, the world druid's here. They'll know what to do.
Lily will step a little bit closer to Arturo, placing her hands on his shoulders, giving them a gentle squeeze. You'll be fine, dear. You've got this. And she will lean in and give him a kiss for good luck.
Oh, thank you for coming. I know you've got a lot of stuff going back on at home, but I kind of needed you here.
The Great Mother actually asked me to come and be the representative. She said she figured it would make sense, since you were already coming as well.
That's true, and God knows I'm going to need your guidance.
She just gives a polite smile, steps ahead, and gestures to the door.
Right, after you, darling, and I'll open the doors.
Together, my dear. And she will open the other door with you and step in with Arthur.
I know some of these people. This is good.
She will, in fact, wave over at Spark.
Spark, it's good to see you not in dream world.
Well, I mean, if anyone was going to meet me in Dreamworld, it would be you.
Well, yeah, it's like sometimes you need advice, and Lily gives great
Where
advice.
the
but
hell have
sometimes-
you been?
Oh, right, we didn't really get... So, did you know there's other continents on Edoria? Because I didn't.
Yes, of course I knew there were other continents.
Well, I didn't, and it turns out that I live there now, in a different one. Dalaran is where I live now.
Well, did you enjoy your summer vacation there?
Actually, it was a lot of hard work. I'm a world druid now.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you know how like regular, well, you know like before I was a regular druid and I spoke to like animals and plants and stuff like that?
No, I mean, I suppose I understand the concept of the world druid. I just don't know why you are the world druid.
Well, it still gets kind of like fly straight over my head too, but now I talk to like the planet itself instead of just the animals and the plants and stuff.
Spark walks up to Arturo. Are you sure you're prepared for this?
Oh, don't tell Lily I've been putting up a front, but I'm absolutely not ready for this.
Spark will clap him on the back. It's good to see you.
It's very good to see you too, and I'll give him a big hug. Oh, and I'm so sorry. This is Lily, is my betrayal, my fiance.
Hooray!
Huh?
Hooray!
Well,
She will
nice
bow.
to meet you.
Oh man, I'm glad your Thay's not coming to this. She'd be like, what the f-?
Live the Sun Daughter of the Green Wardens, and a pleasure to officially meet you, for real, I suppose.
So
We
you're the
only
one
met
who
very
stole Arturo
quickly.
away.
Indeed, I was. I apologize for that. And it seems I will be stealing him away permanently. She just chuckles.
A little bit, like you'll have a place in my heart always, Spark. We've been through too much together.
Well, you don't think
Aw,
you're just
that's
getting
sweet.
away from here forever, do you? You are here for a reason, after all.
Oh yes, I know. Things are getting in like deep shit, but hopefully the things I've learned a lot while I've been away. I found out more stuff about my dad, but that's later about that stuff later.
I found out stuff too. You
About my
don't want to
dad?
hear what I've learned. No, not about your dad.
Oh, okay. Okay, because that really wouldn't make sense if you do learn stuff about my dad. Then
I mean, I might.
Spark is his dad.
I am your father. Yeah.
Gives him that normal steely gaze of his.
Like after this whole war council, we'll have a dad council and we'll tell each other what we found
Oh
out.
my god.
You want the
Sure.
dad council?
So who the fuck are all these other guys? I only recognize like two of them.
Well, that's because you've been gone. This is the War
Not my
Council.
fault. Not my fault. I got stuck into a tree. I guess I was kind of willing, but still.
Just have a seat, and I assure you, more people you recognize will be on their way.
Okay. Before I take a seat, I better go and talk to Civilius. We exchanged a lot of letters, and we didn't really get to meet, so I'll be back in a second.
All right.
And I'll just small chat with Civilius while other people come in.
Okay. Where would you like to sit? Because Lily will like to sit with you.
Once we actually sit for the council, I'll be sitting with Spark.
Okay.
But I'm just over here for now.
She will follow, hovering essentially at a polite distance in case you need her. Garter nods as you approach and head over towards Civilius, but doesn't interrupt as he sees that you are a little bit in a determined path. While you and Civilius chit-chat and discuss, I don't know, ancient elven ruins or something, I'm sure. 2 other individuals have arrived. Starting with this individual, go ahead, introduce yourself and your character.
I was really about to say my name's Yathay, but I'm not. No, new character. Woo! So yeah, this is Valvexia. She is not related to the Critical Role characters. Thank you. Goodbye. She is a high elf from Baron, but she was more recently working close with Yathay, or was working with Yathay, separated, but then was asked to take her place, to come to the meeting. Is there, matter of fact, would there be anybody from Baron in there that she would that would probably recognize her? Because that kind of depends on how she approaches, what she looks like while she's approaching.
Let's see. Anybody that would recognize you from your time working with Yathay or just being an adventurer?
No, specifically her family. Like anybody that would know her from her family in Baron.
May not know you, but may know your family for sure. There is a high-ranking member of the Kingsguard in Baron's actual military, as well as a high-ranking member of the former Centurions.
We're totally fine. It's been like a year or two. They won't remember me. I don't. It's fine. Okay. So essentially, right now, pending some gear, she pretty much just has like really long black. Well, not really long. It's like chest length, black hair.
Like that?
Yes, like that. Little pointed ears. Because she is pretty small. She is about, I'd say, maybe a foot over the height of a dwarf. She's not that tall. She doesn't look like a normal, there's something mixed in there. That's not all high elf. Definitely not. She's pretty small. Pretty fit. Wearing an all black, what do you call those things? Just a cut blouse, some leather pants with some holsters. She strapped up. 2 rapiers at her side, and did we settle on a rifle?
Settle on what?
I was asking Jay. I don't remember if we settled on a rifle because I don't have it.
The rest of that, don't worry about. You don't have yet.
Okay, never mind. I just have the 2 rapiers. And some, knee-high leather boots. She's just walking along casually conversating with that guy.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and your character.
Good day to you all. No, I'm not going to talk like that.
No, talk like that.
Good day, mate. No, this would be Luther. As you can see, he has kind of shoulder-length golden blonde hair, full beard. In terms of how he's dressed, full, surprisingly shimmering black plate. Albeit he's wearing a green tabard and cloak. Carrying a shield and rather ornate-looking longsword.
There's his Hero Forge version.
Yeah, look at all that chunky
And
hair.
there's the handsome man token version.
Handsome man token, yes.
I really hate the angle that art is in because it looks like his ears are down to his jaw.
Maybe they are.
Yeah. What are you making fun of his deformity?
Very low ears. It's okay. It helps with how short I am.
It's true. You can finally hear you.
Damn. Oh, am I on a horse?
You would have been if you arrived with one. At the moment, you're just walking. You would have left your horse with the others.
Okay.
They had a nice little stablery a little bit further off the map.
In that case, I will just ask, are you sure this is the right town?
Does look a bit grovelly, doesn't it?
Not what I was going for, but, seems well protected. I just hope we're in the right place.
Well, I've never been to Vector before, but I'm assuming that this is the right place.
Maybe we should stop and ask.
There is a guard out here, right?
There are guards that you can stop and ask if you'd like.
Excuse me, you there? This is Vector, is it not?
Is Vector on the edge of Oblivion, as we've come to know it.
Oh, look, we're in the right place. Last chance, darling.
No, we're here.
Oh, I just meant last chance to back off.
No, we're here for a purpose. We should see
Okay.
to it.
All right. You don't have to come along, you know.
I have a duty to perform.
Hmm.
I just keep on walking.
Yep, moving along, singing a song, side by side.
I'm not singing a song.
I'm joking.
Sing the song, damn it.
He's not a dwarf, he's not digging a hole, diggy hole.
Oh, that would have been a good song.
He does know that song, though.
I would hope
pulled.
so. Everybody should.
What the fuck?
That's a good song.
Holding my token and I got drug over here.
The soldiers in the area, the few that there are, do wave you through, give you, nods. A few of them are eyeing this very tall, armored individual like, is this one of ours? Who's this guy?
Yeah, he is fairly tall. He's like 6'4".
And then you have Val, who's like barely 5 foot.
Look, you're of a good size to be carried easily in times of trouble.
Good. Does that mean
I placed to rest your beer.
Does that mean I look to you whenever everybody's booking it and I can't keep up?
Yeah, just throw you over my shoulder and sprint down the road.
Potato sack, yeah.
Let's do it. We can get art of it
Is this
too.
your daughter?
Oh my god.
You can hear voices from inside. The doors do not appear to be barred, and they look like they would easily open at the moment.
I'm very strongly trying to resist the urge to kick down the door.
I just push it open and just, like, stroll in. No fucks given.
I'll walk in behind him, but then I'll just stand off to the side.
Now, depending on your own interactions within Baron and the higher-up individuals in the nobility, you may recognize this individual here, this individual here. You probably recognize this individual. I don't know how much you dealt with blood hunters. You might recognize the blood hunters as well.
I'm more of concerned that they might have seen me while I was like a year or two ago with my family, and I'm just kind of like, Val's like turning her head away, like she can recognize when somebody seems like they carry some weight in Baron or something. Like, I'm presuming, like, especially this guy. Wait, how do I do the thing again?
It should be X.
Particularly like these two, I'd assume like that she might have seen them before, so she's just kind of like letting her gaze turn away so she can turn her profile away from them.
They don't seem to recognize you or seem to find you more interesting than just a quick casual glance, so it seems you're safe for the moment, at least.
Which one is Mr. Kingsguard?
The high-ranking member of the Kingsguard is this individual here.
I will go off and talk to them.
I'm just gonna sit here on this bench. Excuse me, sorry.
Did you have anything in particular you wanted to talk to her about, or are you just making chit chat?
It's just chit chat.
Okay. She does seem fairly polite and just, chit chats with you back and forth, just like, oh, hey, your armor's nice and shiny. I like that. Well done.
Wow.
Your armor's nice and shiny. Well done.
Paladins, man. It's the simple things.
My servants polished it especially well.
Damn.
She's like, thumbs up, kudos to them. Once the last of you has arrived, there's a few minutes as chit-chat continues amongst individuals. Sevelius slides a little bit closer, so he's more near Arturo and Lothus. Lothus finds a comfortable place near Arturo.
Like, can she use the bench being of four
Just kind of
legs?
straddles it.
I mean, she can, technically, but, is that comfortable or not? That's the other thing.
Yeah,
She's
that's what I
kind
was
of just
saying.
chilling out.
Is she more comfortable on the floor? Because I feel like I should offer her my seat. But
Yeah, no. She is enjoying her spot here on this carpet.
perfect.
All right. And Luther, where would you like to sit when we get started?
That's a very good question. I think I'll just sit on the bench which I'm standing next to.
Okay.
Assuming it's not taken already.
The seat is open. It seems Elise is the only other one here. Eventually, conversation will die down. This individual, Garter, who some of you may recognize.
Are they the one who told us about the Rift Monster in the first place? The big one?
They indeed are.
Yeah.
They're the one you met at the Blood Hunters Guild who seemed to have information about the Rift Behemoth and was going to visit other Blood Hunter chapters to drum up support so that we could eventually all attack it. Seems to be the one running the show. All eyes are slowly drifting his direction. He raps gently upon the stand here, gazes out. All right. I think that's everybody that's going to be here for the moment. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you for being able to meet. I know it was rather last minute and, well, being back here in Vector, it doesn't feel great. There have been strides made to make the place more defensible, and we do have ways to make sure that everyone remains safe should the worst occur. But we're hoping that moving the bulk of our force further away draws the attention and the eye of the Rift that way. And we can meet here. We'll go around the room, introduce ourselves, discuss what has been happening in our areas and what we're here to offer and what we're here to provide. I would like to formally open with the founding of our official council, where those will stand united against the Rift. And as such, we shall know each other. We are an official multinational organization that is dedicated to ending the threat that the Rift presents, finding Pandemonius, and ending Pandemonius' threat once and for all. Before we get started, does anybody have any questions? Scans the crowd, there's a few murmurs here and there.
I mean, I kind of have one. Raise a hand timidly.
He'll nod his head towards Arturo. Yes.
It's nice to see you again. We actually know each other from a while back about the whole Rift Monster business.
He gives you a polite smile and nods. Yes, I
But,
recognize you, young Arturo.
And the only thing I'm really concerned about, are we quite sure that there are no eyes or ears listening in that shouldn't be? Like, for example, does this Pandemonius have any spies or anything that might be in the locale?
Garter will take a deep breath, looking around at everyone, slowly blow it out, and shake his head. Unfortunately, at the moment, we can't be sure of anything of that sort. And, in fact, it should be noted that such a thing is of grave concern. A lot of our attempts and defenses have been foiled and pushed through by someone who seemed to have insider knowledge of what we were trying to get done. So we're as safe as any of us here, so aligned, can possibly hope. And as far as any of us can possibly promise to each other. I can't obviously speak for everyone, but I know I do not side with the Rift and with Oblivion. But first, for those of you who may not be so familiar, who may not know me, who may be meeting me for the first time, I'm Garda Lazlad. One of two blood hunters present, and he gestures behind him towards Clara back here. Who you should also have recognized from the blood hunter chapter within Baron, if you were there. At least I think she was there. I'm sure she was there. For their part, the Blood Hunters are mostly a logistical arm of this force. We'll be worried about messages, communication, and the sort. Intelligence as well, with scouting. After all, it's somewhat our business to fight monsters from beyond the realm of normal expectation. But with that in mind, we're also frontline fighters. Escorts, travel. The Blood Hunters are going to be moving and moving quickly. They're more of a mobile spy or scout platform as far as the group is concerned. Though Clara back there has been given the unenviable job of being both liaison to the council and the leader of the armed forces the council will be in charge of. Clara, who is back there drinking, will raise her glass, and you all now understand why she's already drinking. I did what I could, trying to gather information on the Rift Behemoth that it became to be known as. Tried to gather armed forces, but unfortunately we weren't fast enough. We were too late. Now, in my capacity here, I lead this council and help organize and filter reports from the Blood Hunters. Next, and he gestures to the individual standing next to him. Next here, I would like to introduce one of our big monetary providers. This is Justinian Gregor Maxwell. He will nod in greeting, raising a hand as like a wave. Spark and Arturo might recognize him.
Their silence says no.
Would we?
You were the only two of the party that has encountered him before. If you don't remember him, I won't be surprised. You could roll a history check to try and recall if you'd like.
give it
Artwork
along
does
2
look
months.
familiar.
Give me a second. Let me roll that.
Hey!
I dig it. I dig it. It comes to you suddenly where you've seen this individual before, and you realize that these two individuals you also recognize. Spark and Arturo ran into them in the basement of the inn just outside of Baron when they snuck into the sewers.
Oh, yes, the man with the horse inside the
Mhm.
basement.
Mhm.
I remember.
And yes, does not have the horse with them at the moment,
No, I'm sorry.
just in case you were curious. Maxwell will step forward a little bit. Greetings. I am Justinian Maxwell. I'm a businessman and a trade baron from the Mercantile Union to the south. Of recent, I have been supporting many endeavors in and around Imilar. Supporting trade endeavors and infrastructure buildup. Hoping to invest and capitalize on markets that were just now emerging as settlements pushed further into the frontier and headed further east. Currently, I'm the one making sure that your bellies are going to be full. Making sure that you have blankets, bedrolls, any of the foodstuffs and soft goods.
Arturo starts clapping.
I've currently seen to establishing supply lines and trade from as far away as the Union itself to the Forbidden Isles and to here in Imola to help support refugees and resettlement programs where we can move individuals to more safer locations, places where the rift attacks have been less frequent. Most of this I am funding out of my own pocket. I had vested interests in seeing the growth of markets and business within Imilar, and I do not want to see those expenditures wasted. The rift is too close. So, I do what I can with my influence and my coin to ensure that we're in a position to persevere. He will give a curt nod and look back at Gernard. Thank you, sir. He will step off the platform, and this individual will step off. Allow me, please, to introduce to all of you Lady Eliza Faith, head of noble house and a priestess of the Drowned One, hailing from the Forbidden Isles. She bows her head, silently observes everyone. Well met, each of you. At one point, I hope to see the influence and word of my lady spread. Since then, I have only interests in seeing our world not come to an end. Using money that I have been able to allocate from taxes and tariffs on trade moving around the waters that are part of our territory, I have provided additional naval power both to Imilar, to the Union, and to anyone else who wishes to see trade, refugee resettlement, and other commerce across the waters maintained. As such, I have many properties in each port around the world and many different countries that I now will be dedicating towards moving shipments and accepting refugees. It is my hope that the blessings of the Drowned One and the stalwart bravery of all those I see here is enough to forestall what may be coming. With another bow, she will quickly leave the stage. And this guy on his horse comes up on stage. Thank you, Lady Faith. This, I would be honored to introduce as Alexandros Trafonso Woodward. Many of you here in Imilar probably recognize them, or perhaps those of you from the hegemony. And he nods towards the Dragonborn and the dwarf over there. Woodward simply holds up a hand to stop Gardar. This is quite all right, Gardar. Greetings. You may call me Alex. I own a multinational organization that deals in weaponry. Both manufacturing, transporting, supplying, selling, recycling. Any bit of weaponry and ammunition, I have a hand in it. Here, within the hegemony, within Goldranath, within Kailoren. And I fully admit I supplied both sides of the initial conflict within Baron. But such is just business. My comrades behind me, and he gestures to Lady Faith and Maxwell, provide most of the soft goods, the human side of things, and the money. I provide that which actually wins wars. I provide the weapons, munitions, training, mercenary groups. Anything you need to fight this war. It's coming through me, out of my pocket. And without any other preamble, he simply just walks off. Broods in the corner like a proper edgelord. Garter nods, gestures to the three of them, and then looks out at all of you. We consider them essentially the funders of this entire endeavor. Without their money, their goods, their troops, their munitions, we would have no hope, no chance. We wouldn't have even been able to organize. But for our next part, we'll get some updates from around Hetoria and discuss our own roles in everything to come. Starting with my dear friend here, Belmar Goldstone. Belmar the dwarf will stand up from their spot, turn, bow towards everyone. to all of you. My name is Belma, as you already heard. From the Dwarven Lands, I've come to provide some intelligence on what's going on there. What it is I do, what I will be providing. I'm officially weapons maker, head of a guild from Rundrav. We were originally contracted by Gardav and the Blood Hunters to assist in weapon making to combat the Rift Behemoth. I have personal connections to the throne of Rundrav through many weapon making contracts. But I've been sent not only as a representative of my guild, but of my people. The dwarves have expertise in weapons, in fighting strange creatures, tactics that we use in the underground. Not to mention unique weapons that we have, such as the crystalline-based ones. So it is my duty to be here to provide weapons, intelligence when needed, and magic arms. He hesitates for a moment, his mouth opening and closing before he finally simply shakes his head and sits back down. Thank you, Belma.
No, let's not glance past that. What's all that about with opening and closing his mouth and not saying anything? What's that? Can we look into that?
Garter looks over at Belmar. Did you have something else? No, not to be of use of any sort at the moment. If the time comes, yes. Just hesitation on my part. And he gives a reassuring nod towards Arturo and holds up a hand as like it's cool, don't worry about it.
I will wave back while reading his face intently.
Go ahead.
He's cool. He checks out.
You can see a quick look goes across his face of he is worried about something, so it could be related, it could not be, it's unclear. And it's, I guess not unexpected to be worried about anything at the moment.
We'll talk to him later, Spark. There's something funky going on.
There always is.
Garter nods, seeming satisfied with the exchange, and gestures towards the Dragonborn. This here is General Wenzel Naziros, high-ranking general and military strategist from the Hegemony. Wenzel will stand up, bowing deeply to everyone. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. As has been said, I am General Naziros. You may call me Wenzel, as we are not in any sort of formal military hierarchy together. The Hegemony has seen much of the same fighting and threat that Imola has seen. These creatures from the Rift have been assailing our towns, our villages, our cities. Has been attacking our bases, our manufactories, seeming without any sort of real clear purpose or pattern to them, just random destruction. We have, however, also noticed that amongst these Rift creatures, what appear to be normal cultists have started padding their ranks. I'm here on behalf of the Hegemony, the military presence we have there, and our own vested interests in being a neighbor of Imolar. We're here to pledge some weapons, military support should it be needed. Our border forces stand at the ready. I also provide tactics and strategies that we might try to employ against these creatures. I, for one, feel that we need to take a proactive approach we need to make an assault on some holding of these rift creatures or another. See if we can perhaps capture some, learn some more about them, put them on the defensive for once. Garter raps on the podium for a moment. All right, Vansel. We'll get to strategy in a moment. We're simply doing updates and introductions at the moment. Please take your seat. Vansel will stiffen slightly, but will sit back down. Now then, the recent unpleasantness that took place within Baron has finally, happily, come to a peaceable ending. We have representatives here showing in good faith that the two sides are peaceful. Representatives from both the Legionnaires and the Centurions. Gesturing towards this individual. This here is Captain Farrell. Sorry, Commander. Commander Farrell of Legionnaires. Farrell will stand up, wave to everybody, his one hand still resting on a sword. Now I know the Legionnaires have largely been dispersed as a force. Most of them have been absorbed by the proper military, gestures over past Luther towards Elise. However, many of the noble houses of both the north and west of Imlar have remained as a singular force, being further removed from Baron and the center of trade and industry as they are. They wish to make sure that they're not overlooked or forgotten again anytime soon. All that they once had does remain up and for offer to the council, and he gestures towards the rest of you. Granted, what we have isn't a lot. We have a few soldiers. We do have some leftover heavy munitions that we bought from Jador. Honestly, we have very little coin to offer. But whatever it is you need, whatever this council requires, you can expect the full cooperation of both the noble houses I represent and of the Legionnaires themselves, no matter where you go within Ymilar.
Nod in approval.
Nice. As you might expect, we have, of course, seen our share of these attacks from the Rift creatures, and can, in fact, agree with General Nazros' assessment that they seem to have no pattern or sense to them, just random violence. You will take a seat. Thank you, Commander. Gesturing to the individual next to him. I forgot to show that. I think I did. Sitting next to him, this individual, wearing a lot of the same adornments and colors you'd come to expect from the Centurions. This is Glidrin Kresk. Glidrin stands up, waves, gives that kind of, shy, like, hey, yo, it's me. Yeah. Nice to meet all of you. I'm Glidrin Kresk. I'm here as representing the Centurions. Don't worry, we've largely been disbanded or absorbed back into the ranks of the normal military. There's just a small contingent of lordships and such around Baron and, close to home that feel that maybe some of these outer territory lords and whatnot, maybe they need a opposite side of their coin. Somebody who's gonna, not let them, wave their, might around unopposed. So a lot of them have decided to keep a lot of the higher-ups in the Centurions, myself included, around as a small allotment of, soldiering and mercenary types that the interior here and that, help see to Baron's interests and, oppose, balance and everything. This whole time, Farrell's just, giving him this stink eye, and Glidrin's, every once in a while giving him the finger. So,
Glad to see some things don't change.
I was gonna say, some normality.
so what we're happy to provide is the largest allotment of soldiers, anybody else is bringing to the table. Granted, that's because a lot of them are former centurions now without work or without anything to do. But we do have a lot of meat to throw at the grinder. What we don't have is a lot of the equipment that meat needs. We don't have a lot of the, soft supplies. He gestures again towards the 3 individuals in the back. We don't have a lot of leadership, but hey, you need a warm body to stand in front of something and stop it from killing somebody, who's just like, there to buy bread. We got that warm body. And with another, dismissing nod, we'll sit down. Thank you, Glidrin. Finally, as far as official military representation, we have with us a member of the King's Guard and a official member of Baron and Ymilar's military, Lady Elise Whiterock. I showed it earlier, I'll show it again, but there she is. She stands up, resplendent in all her paladin-like glory, as usual, as you might expect. She gives a very deep bow to the room. Greetings. I am Lady Whiterock. I'm a member of the King's Guard and leader of the armed forces that were not Centurion loyalists within Baron itself. I missed out on much of the war. I was kept closer to the palace grounds in the inner city there. I am, however, otherwise a decorated war hero. I was the captain of one of the Royal Air Fleet's airships for a time. That is how I made my mark. During the... she looks towards Lady Faith for a moment and looks almost embarrassed. During the conflict we had with the members of the Forbidden Isles, I made some name for myself. I have come to offer a few things. Gifts directly from the royal court of Baron, money, as well as some troops and some of the King's Guard. And there's one last thing. She takes a breath, smiles softly. I am here to provide as gift to the council the ship I once commanded, the Hydra's Gaze, an airship that will act as a mobile front and command center for us to wage this war against the Rift. It should be arriving within a day or two. She will sit back down. Garter looks taken aback for a moment. I certainly never expected that. But it seems we'll be getting our own fleet of sorts, though it is a fleet of one. We'll be getting our own airship. Gesturing towards Lithis, Garter bows his head. If you would like to give your report. Lithis stands up, sketches a bow to the room. Of course. The Green Wardens have had little in the name of conflict with these rift creatures, though there have been a few incursions in the last couple months. There was one focused effort in particular that was an assault on the heart of Dalen's Greens, an attempt to take out the Great Mother. They were not successful. In the meantime, we have opened up our borders and our cities and our homes. We provide refugee aid, sanctuary for those escaping the rift creatures, someone looking for a safer place to lay low. We have also opened our groves all across the world, everywhere you may find them. They are open shelters, safe ports of call for any that know how to find them. We have also been training, and she gestures towards Arturo, my beloved husband to be the world druid for Hitoria, the first such since the end of the First Age. He has come along quite well, I must say, and we are all quite proud of him.
Stop it, darling.
Smiling at him, she simply nods and returns to her position. Garter nods. And to the deals with the warlocks, and he gestures towards Sedna. Sedna herself stands up, gives a bit of a quick bow. The warlocks that are currently aligned against the undead patron have also granted resources to the fight. Most of what we offer will be in the realm of intelligence that we have gathered, occasional agents in the field that may be utilized. I will be working with the council directly, organizing the reports that come in, sharing what information is possible. Additionally, places of sensitive nature, such as the groves that Lithis spoke of, or the towns and refugee centers that have sprung up all over, these escorts that move across the oceans. Members of the warlocks that are of the Fiend, the Raven Queen, the Genie, the Celestial. All of them have been granted, in some capacity or another, additional support from these warlocks, in the form of blessings or of actual armed individuals ready to fight back against the Rift. We may not have many, we may not be a concentrated force, we may not be an army, but we will do all that we can. She sits back down, looks over at Spark, offers a friendly nod.
Spark nods back.
Garter will smile, once more looking out over everyone. I do have reports and information from areas where individuals were not able to make it for one reason or another, including Taris, who unfortunately did not make it back to give his report.
Why does that name sound familiar?
He was one of our blood hunter. Well, he was basically the lead of the blood hunter.
Oh, the one that was
caravan.
with the caravan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Taris and his small force were unfortunately set upon by rift creatures and killed to the last. In Drow territory, a few small incursions have been reported along the north side of their territory, mostly along the coasts and in the high peaks. The Drow have gifted to this body and to, I suppose, Hitoria itself in general, a large chunk of land along this northern coast that is going to be dedicated to the creation of an arcane order that will see to fighting the threat the Rift creatures pose, as well as securing Hattori against any other threats from beyond the bounds of Hattori itself. There have been reports of unstable arcana and a near constant threat of Rift creatures along the east. Not an incursion like we might have become aware of and expect anymore, but just a steady flow of 1, 2, or 3 here or there that sometimes seems to make its way out of the east towards populated areas. The source has not yet been identified, and the Drow themselves have dedicated their resources at home to making sure that that area is protected and to seeing if they might possibly hunt down where it is they're coming from. Maxwell mentioned, but the Merchant Union has also seen assault from the Rift creatures. In fact, the capital was dealt quite a massive blow from a massive Rift creature that destroyed much of the infrastructure in the area. The Union have fortified their borders. They have increased their military patrols in the waters of their territory. They are hoping to ensure the safe travel of goods and people through the area. And while they may be less eager to accept refugees, they have offered them a place, and have doubly so offered them positions on merchant vessels that have been retrofitted for transportation of people. From the Forbidden Isles and the Sirens have been, unfortunately, mostly out of world conflict for some times after their recent, though it was at least a generation or two back, their recent conflict with Ymilar itself. They were one of the first to fully lose territory to the Rift creatures. At least one entire island of the Forbidden Isles has been claimed by the Rift. The Sirens have pledged the use of their best magic users to push back against the Rift, just as soon as they are able to secure their own lands. With a bit of a frown, he glances towards Spark for just a moment, then looks down at his notes. The Warforged have unfortunately closed their borders and have prepared their defenses to weather the storm of the Rift. They have not offered, nor have they asked for aid from anywhere else. The Genasi and their 3 main realms have fully opened their lands and their hearts and their homes to refugees. They have pledged resources and troops to aid in securing commerce and to make sure that travel is safe, so that trade and the economies can continue with only the most minor of interruptions. Another frown crosses his face. There was a massive attack from Rift creatures some weeks back that has torn the city of Hackwick Crossing completely apart. Some areas of the city are still safe, pockets here and there. Others have been consumed fully by Rift forces and turned into blasted wastelands where magic has seared away everything that was once alive. As such, the Changelings and much of the area of Goldranath is in complete anarchy and disarray. The Great Council itself has gone completely silent. None have heard from them since the attack. Many believe that the Great Council itself has been completely wiped out. This is at least somewhat supported by the fact that our liaison to the Great Council is not here currently. Further south of Drowlands, the Fey folk that make up the people that live in those areas have reported fending off strange creatures that they now believe may be, in fact, Rift creatures that have been running rampant around the area of Feyhost in the far east of their territory. Despite this, they have pledged resources to the cause. They have sent soldiers many of the magic users to help protect sensitive areas and to help push back and fight against the rift. The Raven Queen has been supplying resources to protect, again, these sensitive and important sites. She has also dedicated resources and personnel to defending sensitive areas such as the recently opened vault that we learned about up in the high frozen reaches. She has also pledged other resources to helping to establish this arcane order within the north of the Drow territory. Other than that, she has offered and promised whatever other aid she might be able to lend us, though of course most of it will be long distance, as she is also currently pursuing other leads and taking care of other sensitive situations that have cropped up. She has delivered a group of 7-foot-tall copper skeletons to help protect both the individual within Baron that calls herself the Sage, Shisinu, she says it is pronounced, and of course others within Baron, such as the King and his mother. Speaking of Shisinu, she has remained within Baron with the Shadow Slayers that she has managed to train, all 3 of them. One of the Shadow Slayers has remained within the home of the Raven Queen, awaiting the time where she will be called once more to fight the Shadow. The other 3 have been dispatched to Hatoria to help fight creatures from the Rift. One has been dispatched to Hackwick, one has been dispatched to Feyhost, and one remains in Baron with Shisinu. The Sage herself has made her own base, as I said, within Baron. She spends most of her time there at the library, delving and reading through what she can possibly find in the archives and the ancient hidden stacks that you've all helped her to locate. With that, Garter straightens up, flips through his notes one more time before nodding. And of course, last but not least, our heroes and champions. Those who have answered the call and those who have returned. We welcome you back. With your help, we hope to be able to come up with a plan to push back and fight against the Rift. Spark, follower of the Fiend, have you anything you wish to share with the Council?
Spark thinks carefully about that. Depends. How much doom and gloom do you want me to bring upon the council?
That is totally up to you.
Oh, he said that out loud.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking me, the DM.
I assume everything you told me has occurred. For him.
Indeed. Everything that you were given knowledge of, you have and can share. Garter will simply gesture towards you. Feel free to share what it is you believe may be cognizant to our current situation.
Well, I know of tidings well outside of this war and this effort. I believe what Sedna had to offer and say about the warlocks and their support and potentially other, shall we say, metamagical beings, they will support us in this effort, even if not directly through means of troops and funding and all of that fun stuff. There's a lot going on outside of this that may influence this war, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to us to make it happen.
All right, Garter will nod at that. You have anything else, or is that good?
That's it.
This music became rather whimsical.
It did.
We're moving towards, happier, brighter, hopeful futures. Next, Garter will look at Arturo. Lord Aleph,
Oh.
what might you have to share on your training and how goes it?
Well, a lot of the things that have happened to me, Lilithis has already mentioned to you. I am now well on my way to becoming the World Druid. And for those who don't know what the World Druid is, basically it's like a regular druid can commune with nature and with animals and things. Well, I have been training to commune with the planet itself. It is a living being, and I can commune with it and discuss things. And I believe that I can use this to maybe pinpoint heavily concentrated areas of rift energy or rift monsters where we can maybe pinpoint exactly where Pandemonius may be hiding so that we could perhaps launch an attack upon them before they're too strong.
Garter nods, giving you a warm smile. Is there anything else you wish to share?
I'm super happy to be back home. It's good to see some familiar faces, and hopefully that we can get this done now that everyone's stopped fighting each other.
It's good to have you home, Lord Aleph. Turning towards Val and Luther, he will gesture towards them. And you two, newcomers to our council here, would either of you like to introduce yourselves to the rest of us and perhaps offer what you may be providing as far as... And he just kind of gestures and trails off.
Val is like shooting the side eye at Luther.
I just glanced back. Black? I'd glance back over my shoulder at her.
Val will stand up. Well, as you all probably have noticed, I am not Ythay Springbrook. English? Hello? I am not Ythay Springbrook. She sent me in her place, as she has other priorities to family and whatnot. I do not. So I will be fighting in her stead. She did wish for me to pass on the note that while she is not currently in a place of power to provide anything like weapons or fighters, damn, I don't know where we're from. I never got like a town name for like wherever Ythay is.
If you want to make one up, you absolutely can.
That's gonna take me like 10 minutes. I don't.
Yeah, then don't worry. I just say the town.
Yeah. She did want me to pass on the note that should any of the troops be lacking in motivation, to send them her way, and she can renew their vigor.
You hear a quiet from Luther.
Damn, I'm mad you didn't give me a dagger. Now I would have thrown it at him. But yeah, that's it. I'm just here to replace her. And I dragged him along with me, and she just like points over at Luther.
The room turns to look at Luther.
I'll just sort of stand up, looking somewhat regal. Sir Luther, Knight of Imola, sits back down.
Everybody just waits for anything else, then realizes there's nothing else, and they just
Arturo starts to clap.
nod.
Like Val looks over at Arturo, then back at Luther, and then just like hides her face in her hands. Like
Yeah,
bends
Luther
over,
just
like,
gives Arturo this like really like subtle what the fuck look.
No one was saying anything. I got worried.
Dev, no. Not Arturo pulling a Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
All right. Garter will make a few notes on a piece of paper in front of him, look around once more before nodding. Very well. Introductions made. The playing field has been set before you and has been noted. Now, and he gives a quick nod to Vansel over there. Now, we will discuss what it is our first course of action should be. Vansel. Vansel will once more stand up, bow again.
This music makes me feel like I'm at Disney World.
I like that. Yes, as I said, I do believe we should take a proactive approach. I propose an assault upon the ruins of what were the Oblivion Labs. Then he looks around to gauge everyone's reaction to that.
I mean, it could be a pretty good idea. Like, that's where Pandemonius was, like, trapped, so maybe we can find some remnants of whatever was keeping them trapped there and figure out a way to do it again, maybe.
Unfortunately, well, I don't know exactly whether we'll get that out of it, but that is the most logical place to go and free from the rift.
Garter nods slightly, turns towards the two newcomers. For those who may not know, the Oblivion Labs are actually located where the Oblivion Scar is now. There are parts of it that were not completely destroyed. There are ruins there still that can be explored and poked around at. It is also in the heart of where this rift, monstrosity, and everything first came from. So it is likely going to be full of rift creatures.
This should not be a problem.
Sounds like a plan.
It is at that moment that there is a swelling of magic in the area.
Oh boy.
Does that swelling feel familiar to me and Spock? Does it look like the kind of magic when things are about to pop into existence?
It does feel familiar, yes. As in the center of the room, 6 individuals appear.
Oh, it's just you guys.
Sort of taken aback by this for a moment and get to my feet, and go to reach for my sword, but then kind of realizing what's going on, I sort of slowly sit back down.
Val mirrors that. Like, they do it at the same time, and then they just, she kind of looks at him and just like, oh, okay, and then just sits back down.
I was wondering when you all would show up.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys again.
Hey, I remember that one. And that other one that's the Wanda Maximoff lookalike.
Salamand smiles, waves at Spark and Arturo. Kubanara offers everyone a bow. Indeed. We felt it necessary that perhaps we make a dramatic entrance.
That does sound like you.
But
Can't blame you.
actually, we have been hard at work and have provided each of you who will be going on this endeavor blessings and boons of the Archon elements themselves. There are only 6 of us, so you do not have all of the blessings possible. But each one, should others be returned, will offer to you a new blessing.
Val is like tilting her head and like looking at Luther like, what the fuck is happening?
His expression's blank. He has no idea.
Kubanara steps forward, raises their hands. Yeah, there we go. Medieval Wanda Maximoff.
I like the setup though. I want that coat.
Right? That's such a cool looking coat. And you will, any of you who have any sort of grasp of magic, even raw fundamental grasp, will see a suffusion of psionic energy flow throughout the room and settle in each one of you. I bring you the gift and blessing of communication, even when it normally would be impossible.
Oh.
All right, so each one of the Archons is going to be providing a blessing that is a new ability, mechanic, or thing for the whole party.
Hey,
Oh,
yo.
Lord.
Let's go.
My God.
For instance, Kubanara, the Archon of Psionic Magic, will grant the party the ability to communicate telepathically.
Willingly?
Willingly, you can communicate to each other telepathically. You can also shut out the other voices if you don't want to listen, or if you know somebody's being annoying and you want to
Okay.
shut it out. You can
That's the
resist it and
important
turn it off. But you can, at will, communicate telepathically. No matter how distant you are, no matter where you are, even if you're on different planes.
Oh, that's
The
cracked.
The only drawback to this is that it can be overheard. Anything you say can be overheard by anyone who might even be accidentally scrying in the area. They will be able to hear your thoughts. They won't be able to communicate with you, but they will be able to hear everything that is said. So keep in mind that this is not protected communication.
Do they have to be scrying on you specifically? Or just like anyone in the party? Or
if they are, for instance, like just scrying in an area and you all just happen to be there, they will be able to hear it and pick it up.
Oh, even if we're not in the same area? If only one of us is in the area?
Yes, they will be able to hear. Basically, it's like like the communication, the Wi-Fi network. They're able to just get in and just listen to your conversations.
Okay, so it's not even like they can only get one side. They'll get both sides.
Yes.
Womp.
Oh, I've got the perfect sound for this because Luther wouldn't have a clue how to do this properly.
It's okay.
I have the perfect sound effect.
The knowledge to be able to do this is granted to you automatically as the magic weaves in and settles into each of you.
So is it only between the people in the party, or could I be telepathically talking to Garda as well?
It is only between you four.
Okay, cool.
Can you imagine, like, the training arc if Luther just doesn't know how to do it? I'll just sit there staring at him and we're just silently staring at each other trying to get him to speak telepathically.
Come on,
That'd be
guys,
an
so
epic
good.
staring contest.
The first
Havoc.
word that comes through is apple.
Havoc cannot join the call, nor can he hear the call.
No!
So he will always be outside. Spark will have to update him on any relevant information. Though they can communicate telepathically anyway, so it almost doesn't matter. It's just like, you switch to a
Playing
different channel.
telephone, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Havoc, he's not invited to the group chat.
Basically. Kumanara bows and steps back. Salaman steps forward.
Oh, she pretty.
And I, of course, bring the gift of fire. And let's make that fire a little bit spicy. What do you think?
We like spicy fire.
She winks at Spark.
I like the way you think.
Alright, the fire damage of spells and attacks is buffed, basically. So, a fire spell, as long as it deals fire damage, will deal an extra die of damage for every level of spell. For instance, Fireball will deal 3 extra die of damage.
That's crazy.
Wait.
Good
What
lord.
about if I'm casting with a packed spell?
If it's a
slot?
packed spell, it counts the original level of the spell.
Okay.
What if... Does it have to be a spell?
Spell or attack. If you have an attack that deals fire damage,
So, like, if I set my sword on fire, or my rapier on fire, and then I hit with it.
yeah, if you have something like that, something that lets you ignite your weapon to deal fire damage, that
Something
fire
I
damage
miscall.
will become that fire damage will become explosive.
Found a new side quest, find a way to resurrect Carl.
Additionally, any cantrips, since they don't have spell levels, they don't get the increase in dice. You can add your ability modifier to the damage any fire-based cantrips deal.
Suddenly, I'm regretting not playing the wizard.
Going all in on fire is paying off.
I can't wait till Pandemonius is immune to fire.
Yeah, right.
Bruh. Bruh.
Killenthale steps forward, just bows quietly. There is a rumble throughout the building of thunder. And I bring to you the blessing of thunder. So any thunder damage you do, it echoes, meaning you roll the damage twice, and you get to take half of the second roll as additional damage.
Oh.
She quickly steps back. Sindatu shuffles forward. Now I have brought to you the blessing of entropy and death. Which sounds horrible, I know, but I promise, ain't really that bad. So you can deal a hit die worth of damage to yourself to give yourself advantage on an attack versus a creature that is at half health or lower, or to force them to have disadvantage on a saving throw. This is a reaction, so it'll take your reaction for the round.
Do we have to call that out, like, before they roll for damage?
You have to call it out when you go to make the attack. You would say, I want to use this Blessing of Entropy. You would take the damage, and then you would have advantage on the attack. Or, as you, like, cast the spell, or use whatever ability, you would say, I also want them to have disadvantage. You take the damage, and then they would have disadvantage.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Do good with that, if you can.
Wait, is it a hit die like the one we rolled for our health?
It is. For those of you who have multi-class that may have different hit die, you take the lower of the 2 hit die as damage.
Oh. Not bad, not bad. Is that a one-off, or is that, like, once per long rest, or, like, indefinitely for reactions?
Well, I mean, it's until you're out of hit die, or until you die, or until, you're out of reactions. That is basically every turn in combat. You can only use as many hit die as you have hit die, so 8, basically.
Of that type? If multi-class?
Yo, yeah, you're level 8, so you have 8 hit die. So you can
okay.
use the ability essentially 8 times before you would need to rest and then gain half that back.
Okay.
Quickly going back to the fire one.
Yeah.
If I've got exploding on it, does that affect the additional damage from the blessing as well?
Those will also become explosive.
Good lord. Okay.
She is fire. She said make it spicy. It'd be spicy now.
I mean, we know what she's capable of, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't remember showing off Sendatu. Look at this handsome mushroom man.
Oh, he has a charm.
Mushroom. A badger.
This individual that appears to be a little bit younger. The rest of them are all definitely adults. This one might be a, high school, very, very young adult type.
Oh, he's just a little baby.
I bring to each of you the blessing of will.
Hi.
I was gonna say, what's Will doing?
All right, so this one's probably the spiciest of the bunch. Each of you are granted, at each level, 1d6 per Archon, so currently 6. You can roll these at any time as a free action, any number of them, to add to a roll that currently is on the table. They do not replenish until you level up again.
As a free action, question mark?
As a free action, meaning that you can just do it anytime you have control.
So it has to be on your
anytime
turn.
you roll.
Yeah, it's on your turn. It's not a reaction. It's a free action.
If you make a saving throw and you want to use some of these d6s to increase that saving throw, you may do so.
Do that. Do I have to call it out before I do the original throw? Or can I be like, can I roll something and see it doesn't hit and then be like, I'll roll 2 more d6?
You may not know the results, but after you roll and you see the roll, you may choose to add to it if you like.
Okay. Wait, what?
So if you need to make a saving throw, you roll it, you roll a 7 on the d20. And you're like, I want to add to that.
Right.
You can spend some of these die at that point.
Okay.
You may not know, maybe that 7 was enough to make it, but you weren't sure. So before you know the results.
Yeah, something of this is too low for me.
I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable making this attack with an 11. And that guy's, super beefy. So I want to add to that kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
So you currently get 6. They replenish when you level up. So you've all got 6 of them right now. And if more Archons join when you level up, the number of D6s you get will go up.
There's more Archons?
There are in total 14.
What the fuck?
12 original elements, and then Will and Oblivion.
Where are these motherfuckers at? I need to have a word with them.
He will shuffle to the back, and then this individual. Also, again, more of a young adult look, not quite fully, aged like the rest of the Archon. And I bring the blessings of Oblivion. So you're going to see this wording, and you're going to get very excited. But hold on. I will explain.
Okay, I will try.
What that means is when you deal a final blow to someone, you can use this ability once per level to be like, they're done, they're gone. There's no chance for this individual to ever recover. They suffer oblivion.
Woo!
You may also, once per level, resist a source of oblivion damage.
Is that a or an and?
That is an and.
Okay.
So, if you never get hit with oblivion damage in a level, oh well. You may still be able to be like, this motherfucker is dead. Because I will warn you that there may be abilities where enemies can recover and come back. So this will likely become something that becomes useful later. With a quick bow, she steps back.
Have we ever ran into something able to wield oblivion damage like that?
I don't remember if this party has or not. There was, I think, one creature that possibly could have. I don't remember if it did or not, but I know you as a player have come across it before.
Okay.
Rift creatures, for instance, usually have a source of oblivion damage. Not always, but usually. The blessings bestowed upon the party, the Archons will step back and will slowly disperse, fading back towards the corners of the room.
Just because I think I wasn't here officially for when they came for the last campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, so Salamand is the Archon of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Kubinara is the Archon of
Psionics, basically.
Okay,
Thought.
that's what I thought. I didn't know the word. I wrote down psych scribble.
Yeah, basically psionic abilities and powers and magic.
And Sendatu?
Sendatu is the Archon of Entropy.
That makes sense. This is a new pen. Why won't you work? And then I'm assuming how do you pronounce it? Hamairu? I can read English, I promise.
Homebrew
Homebrew. Okay. Oblivion?
is the Archon of Oblivion, yes.
How much would the people, other than, Spark, know that these other Archons exist, especially the Archon of Oblivion?
It's probably not a shock to Arturo, which means it's probably also not a shock to Lily or to Sevilius.
I think Oblivion's the only one I didn't meet in person.
You didn't meet Will either.
Yeah, Will and
okay.
Oblivion showed up after you guys left.
This is too funny to me.
I was like, Will did what again?
I have my own Archon, yeah.
Sedna does not seem shocked. Some of the others, like Elise, Farreld, Glidrin, Vansel, and Belmer, do seem, whoa, who are all these? Very surprised, taken aback.
What's his name? Arondat?
Arondat.
And you said he's the Archon of Will? Or no?
He's the Archon of Will.
Okay. That's your Archon, Will.
Yeah.
And then Killenthale is the Archon of Thunder.
That is a whole name to spell. Good God.
Only 8 more to find.
They're like Pokemon.
You do know where a few of them are.
We do, yeah.
You said there's a total of 14?
Total of 14. 12 for the 12 known elemental elements to make up all magic and life and all that. And then 13 and 14 being Will and Oblivion. They're not known really to anybody in general.
Now I know when I leave my house next, I need a new pen. This pen sucks.
It is very likely that the Archon of Water will also be arriving eventually. The Archon of Air, however, is likely never going to show up, as that one is the one in possession. The undead patron currently possesses that.
Possesses like kidnapped or possesses like their friends?
Possesses like it is currently holding the stone. As these all start as Archon stones, and the Archon has to be released.
Oh. So we'd have to, steal the stone and release it.
Yeah.
We've done
There's
it before, it's
also
easy.
the Archon of Earth, the Archon of Radiance, the Archon of Necrosis, the Archon of Arcana, just magic in general, really, the Archon of Mechanical, and the Archon of Time.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, that one's
I
fun.
was gonna say, how do you... Huh.
The Archon of Time is known to be somewhere in the past.
Uh-huh.
Specifically is stuck in post-World War I, pre-World War II Earth.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I vote we don't go there.
Sounds like a fun time.
We'll let that one slip.
Yeah, that one's the Indiana Jones adventure.
What day is that one on?
One doesn't happen yet.
No,
Oh, it hasn't happened yet? Oh.
No, it hasn't happened yet.
Putting my name in the ring. I got taken out of my Indiana Jones adventure. I need a new one. I got a character ready and everything.
And there has also been confirmed that there is a stone on Orblis, and a stone on Aradesh.
I don't know what those are.
And on Traloon.
And on Anubisaf. And on
Do we
Traloon.
have an updated map? With names? Or no?
I have sort of one. I don't have the final finished one yet.
Okay, because I was looking at artwork and I saw the map, but then there was no names on it, so I was like, well, this doesn't help me.
Yeah. If you have questions about it, I can absolutely show you some of the others, but there are spots on it that have secrets.
Which one of those continents are we on right now?
Those are all planets.
What?
Oh yeah, those are all planet names.
There are other planets.
No. No. Oh!
Anubisaf, Traloon, Aradesh, and Orblis are all other worlds.
Right, unrelated. On that map that you have on there, where are we?
The continent that is in the northeast,
The bigger one.
the biggest one, yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
I actually think there is. The large forest and about center-ish there you see on that continent.
Uh-huh.
You are just north of it.
Oh, okay.
A little bit west, but mostly north. In what was once the logging village of Vector. And east of you, in that gap between the mountains and the forest, is where the Oblivion Scar is, and the labs that you were going to visit. Yeah, any other questions, by all means, if you
Just
want
to confirm, those last two abilities are per level.
Yes, the Oblivion ones, you can use them once per level.
And the D6 one?
And the
will?
D6 is a handful at this point, 6d6 per level.
Okay.
So once you use them, they're gone until you level up, and then you get a fresh batch of 6 new ones.
Oh boy.
They do not stack; they replenish up to 6.
Okay, I'm done with my 10 million questions now.
Just wait until Spark start talking about all the other stuff he knows.
You're gonna get a very confused Val just staring at you with like the you know the anime thing with the line next to the head where it's like brain dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Arturo could too. He could definitely go off on a tangent that'll ruin Val.
That's not the way she likes to be ruined.
Oh,
Huh?
Huh, I said what I said.
Okay.
But also ruin Luther, probably too. Can't wait for that conversation.
That's fair, yeah. But yes, any other information or questions or clarifications about any of those?
Nope, I'm good.
I will also make sure to post them and pin them in the important docs channel in Discord, so you can reference them there.
So on a scale of 1 to gigafucked, how bad is every fight gonna be?
Oh,
That
we just got
giggle
6
said
uber
gigafucked.
powers.
I put in some effort, and I feel like some of these are kind of mean, but also they're funny, so I feel like it was fine.
Funny for you or funny for us?
Yeah, for me.
Okay, the yeah was I was gonna say the yeah means you. Okay, gotcha.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. There's no problem. It'll be all right.
Just make sure I stay alive. I'll bring the deeps.
That's crazy.
With that done, Garter will open the floor for other people to discuss potential plans or anything else they want to bring to attention of the council, and I will be right back as I need to use the bathroom.
Run!
Hey, Spock, can you hear me in your head right now?
Unfortunately.
Are you purposefully blocking us out, or am I hearing you say that across the way?
You probably would have. I wouldn't intentionally block anybody out. No.
As you say that, and I'm just like, hey, Luther, there's strangers in our heads.
Hello, strangers.
From Luther, you just hear.
Ooh, you were ready with that one.
Yep.
Oh, no.
So you always sound like that.
Only when you ask him to think about something that isn't how shiny his armor is.
Well, he's very
That is
shiny.
complete. That is a complete lie.
Oh, you can talk! Look at you go!
I'm not talking isolely.
God, you fucking bitch.
I really should make a character voice.
If you're gonna pull that, then yeah.
But yes, hi, hello.
So I guess you just got like unintentionally roped into helping us on our thing.
Sorry in
I
advance.
wouldn't say unintentionally.
So I guess we're going to. We're going to the Scar. All four of us, maybe more.
I don't know if we know the specifics yet, but that's probably it, yes.
Yeah, they knew about Havoc, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. So Val's just gonna be like, I hear it's 5.
There might be a 5th.
Lily's not coming. She's got to stay here.
Oh no, not with you. Pointedly stares at
Oh.
Spark.
Yes, technically
Yes,
5.
I may have a familiar. A familiar who fortunately can't listen into us like this.
I hear he's very charming.
He has a reputation.
Rather high one coming from Yuthay.
Well, you'll have some stories to bring back to the Yethe after this fight.
Oh boy.
Did you guys hear about that lady with this ship that's like flies and stuff? That sounds pretty fun.
I'd prefer to keep my feet on the ground if it's all the same to you guys.
It sounds useful.
It does sound useful. I still would like to keep my feet on the ground.
But flying's really fun. I can do that. Oh, Spock, I can do that now, just whenever I want.
See, if that was the case, that's different.
Like
But if that-
levitation or actual flying?
Oh no, like you know, how, like before I struggled like with like birds, I couldn't turn into a bird and stuff like that.
Right.
Now I can. I can turn into like a really big bird, actually.
And that's what I'm saying. If it's my own wings, fine. If that's my own spell, fine. But if it's just a ship of flying magical wood that's keeping me from becoming splat on the ground, no thanks.
Yeah, it's true. This is kind of out of your hands kind of thing. I know what you're saying, but if you want, I could turn you into a bird too.
I think I'd like to stay human.
Wait, just
Okay,
how
well-
big of a bird can you become?
You know the birds that flew us to Jador?
Yes.
I can be them now. So now I can make 3 of them. Well, like one will be me, but yeah, I can do that.
Well, there you go. We don't have to take an airship. We can take Arturo.
Yeah, you can take me. Not like that.
You just see like the fluttering eyelid emoji coming from across the room.
Spark has no idea what he
you both
said.
are very, very popular at the brothels.
Well, it's actually, we've never actually been. Ythé mentioned that she would take us, but then she kind of had to dip, unfortunately, so we didn't get to go.
Oh, I'm sure you guys can go to hers.
Oh, Arturo can't anymore.
Oh, right!
Yeah.
Right! You're married. With
Well, no, not yet.
Edwin.
We're betrothed. We're
Oh.
not married
so
yet. But
Bachelor party then.
it's true, I haven't had one. We could do that on the way.
It's the worst bachelor party idea, but it's one of them.
That sounds fun to me.
Is this something I should ask her about?
No.
That's arguable.
I wouldn't
Actually, who am I
recommend
to
it.
stop you?
I'm back, by the way.
Wait, well, how long have you been there?
We're party bonding.
It's good shit. I liked it.
We'll circle back to the bachelor party thing after we figure out who we have to kill.
I thought we weren't. I thought we were just going to go into this Oblivion Labs thing.
Yeah, that's where the Oblivion started. So that's like there's probably rife with monsters.
Right, so
to
we're not
destroy.
killing anyone yet, right?
No one will get there.
There's still things in there.
Oh, I'm sure
Probably.
there is.
Well, we
Oh.
never got to see it, but I'm guessing that's like, unless it's like when a bomb goes off and all the stuff lands far away, and where the bomb went off is kind of
You guys
pretty.
think the
still.
entire of like the rest of the room is just watching us all like staring at each other from across the room, knowing that we're talking to each other quietly.
Maybe.
Do you think any of these guys will give us money or like gear us out a little bit more before we leave?
I hope so. Like 4 of them. That's all they talked about is how rich they were. We should probably ask them.
Hope so. I only have regular rapiers. I don't know how well I can do against Oblivion stuff.
Why did you not get more stuff when we were in Baron?
Those are +1 rapiers, thank you.
They are +1 rapiers.
Well, it's fine because we've got like 20,000 gold in our bag of holding that we haven't used for a while. So we should probably
I'm sorry, what?
That's
about
what I
that.
like to hear.
No.
Hmm?
Most of that has already been dedicated to the war fund.
We are the war fund.
Yes,
You
well,
don't-
there are other uses for the war fund than just us. Don't
I
be
mean,
selfish.
it's not like I'm gonna order a jacket of growing a beard. Like, come on now.
You can get
Don't,
those because
don't
I'm
put it
struggling.
past her.
Don't worry, the money wasn't spent on
What'd you
something
say,
trivial like a
Luther?
hood.
What'd you say, Luther?
I didn't say anything.
I heard no. What'd you say?
Nope. You misheard.
Mm-hmm. Stream, play that back. Replay.
Let's see what all these fancy rich people are willing to give us before we have to turn over any more of our money.
Valid. I'd also like a nice like cloak or something, because like it's, we're getting to that season. Oh, wait, what season is it?
It's fall.
It's getting kind of chilly.
Again, why didn't you get one in Baron?
Because we weren't trying to stay in Baron for that long.
But it's never mind.
This telepathy
The
thing is
longer
pretty
I
cool.
stay, the longer I shop, the longer that the shopkeepers have time to be like, oh look, she's back, and then I'm gonna be like, oh no, I gotta run now. No, we're left, run. We stop by, we get our stuff, we leave.
So, like, are we like, does Garda just tell us what to do and then we go do it, or are we like, do we
Ask
decide what we do?
Well, I
when
think
go
we
do
were
it?
waiting for Vansel to give a little more of a tactical approach on this whole thing.
Oh, he's the general guy. Yeah.
Either that or like a step 2 and a step 3, and besides just the step 1 of, hey, go over there and look for the thing.
It would be nice to know what else we should do, assuming we secure the place.
I'm not worried.
Maybe we should ask him outside of our heads.
Has the rest of the room stopped to like notice that we're all just staring silently at each other across the way?
I'm just looking around the room.
Kubanara has been laughing. You may assume Kubanara has heard it all.
Oh,
That's true.
okay.
The rest of the room has engaged in small talk amongst themselves. Vansel and Belmer seem to be going over some notes and looking at a scroll that one of them is unfurled. Garter, in fact, steps down off of the podium and heads towards Val.
Oh. This whole time I've been staring just across the way at Spark and Arturo, so when he walks up, I'm like, huh?
While this is going on, I'm just going to converse with Elise again.
Absolutely.
He's found
Garter
his
will
first target.
hold out a hand.
How dare you?
It's a pleasure to meet you officially.
And she'll stand up and take his hand. You.
Don't worry. I may have recognized you, but I don't believe anyone else here has. I don't think anybody else here has the... And he just trails off, shakes his head for a moment. Regardless, I did have some things for you. They sent word ahead.
Oh?
He will
Presents,
hand you a couple of items. The first thing he hands you is this fairly, sturdy, heavy-feeling, very long item.
I look absolutely giddy.
It is a rifle that appears to be an extraordinarily exceptional looking makeup. It is called Long Strike. You should be able to see all the different things it has there, all the different details about it. You should be able to drag it from the chat onto your character sheet.
Crit strikes deal an extra 1d12. Oh!
It is a 1d12. So if you crit, it is a 2d12 plus the crit damage, of course.
Oh, wait!
You can fire it 6 times before you have to use your item interaction to essentially reload it. If you roll a nat 1 with it, it misfires and you have to spend your item interaction immediately to reset it. So it'll just reset it back to 6 shots. Unfortunately.
We know how much the ones love me.
And if your first attack with it, if you use your attack action and actually hit with it, you may make a second attack with it as a bonus action. They'll have full ability bonuses and damage and all that.
So question, because obviously this is my first time playing that. Does that stack with Dread Ambusher? Question mark?
Let me see. Sort of. The way Dread Ambusher works is it's just giving you a second attack. Just in general. Basically like extra attack for fighters and the like.
Mm-hmm. So like if I am at a distance, right, and I shoot, and then I use Dread Ambusher, is it like I can hit either of the 2 shots, or it has to be that first shot for me to do the second shot?
No, as long as either one of the attacks, if you attack using Dread Ambusher, and it's only on your first turn of combat. So on your first turn of combat, if you shoot, you can shoot again with Dread Ambusher. If either one of those hits, you can also make the additional attack as a bonus action.
Oh, yes! Okay, cool.
And if you crit with it, not only are they taking the extra d12, they're also taking that extra d8 of the weapon's damage type, which would crit itself, so it'll be like an extra 2d8. So yeah, your opening salvo in combat with this gun can be devastating.
Pew, pew.
It is also just mechanically in general, just a +1 weapon.
Sweet. Oh, I have to do the thing. Pop in.
And it crits on a 19 through 20.
I only hear part of what Spark says in our head, and her only response is, I get presents, shut up!
Next, he will hand you a cloak.
Oh my god! Skulker? What that?
Skulker is a feat. Let me grab that real quick.
Guys, I have an extra feet.
It's a real good one, too.
So with Skulker, you can try to hide when you're lightly obscured from the creature. You don't have to have broken line of sight to actually hide from it using your stealth. You can just turn sideways behind a tree so that you're partially hidden and you can roll your stealth. When you are hidden and you miss with a ranged weapon attack, it does not reveal your position.
Oh.
And dim light will no longer give you disadvantage on sight when you're doing perception checks and looking around.
Inventory orgasm.
Might end up there with Rocky in terms of how stealthy you can be.
Yeah.
I think Rocky had something ridiculous like plus 12 to stealth.
Whoa!
I think it got up to 14 at the end there.
It might have, yeah.
Well, I'm already at a +7, so we're on our way.
Nice. So does the cloak give you +5 on top of the 7 you already had?
It gives you an extra +5 bonus to your stealth. Yes.
Oh my god, so I'm at a
So you-
13!
Yeah.
Or a 12, sorry. I can math, I promise. That's, mind you, that's a 12, and then advantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that penguin in Madagascar. You didn't see anything.
Basically, yeah.
I'm gonna have to compete for that last blow with you.
It's okay, we split down the middle.
Fair enough.
Whoever's free first gets the last one, if there's an odd number.
Sounds good.
And the last thing he will hand to you
There's more!
there's one last item, yes. Is a necklace. The necklace has a charm on it that looks like a mermaid singing.
Oh boy. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Do, 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 do. Sorry, I was stimming.
Alright, there we go.
Ooh.
The necklace is known as the Song of the Sirens.
Oh. 4d6, goddamn!
Good. We need that.
Advantage on persuasion checks. Yes! Look, the necklace worked before I even had it.
Garter will give you a bit of a bow.
She's like holding all of this stuff, like the stuff in a pile in her hands. She's like, oh, thank you!
Items from the Blood Hunter's arsenal to help arm you against the armies of Oblivion.
Oh, this would be so helpful. Thank you so much, darling. Just immediately start like putting things on. She's just like, oh yes.
I could
Excitement.
think of some other expeditions that could have used that kind of arsenal from the Blood Hunters.
I know, right? All we got was some, like, carts.
Yeah, what are we, chopped liver?
He doesn't ask.
Plus, he knows
No,
who
we're
I
too proud to ask.
Also, he knows who I am. Puffs out chest a little bit. How do I do the thing? Not equip. Oh. Boop. Boop, boop.
Also, I'm pretty sure Spark did ask. Like that's a thing Spark would have done.
That, you know what? Now that you mention it, I can hear Spark being like, "So, are you gonna buff us up a little bit, or like?"
Yeah, well,
Just
you
send
gonna
us on a
spare
merry little
something
way?
for the adventurers you're sending to their death, huh? Or is that why you're not giving us the good shit?
Oh man.
This is nepotism, I hear.
Looks at Spark's gloves.
Yeah, well,
Looks at Arturo's armor.
all I'm saying is the Blood Hunters could chip in too.
Internal Val is like literally running around in circles right now.
Vansel will stride to the center, raising his hands as if calling for silence, and Garter will gesture towards him. All right, now, if we'd all give Vansel the floor, I believe he has some things he wants to talk about for the proposed assault on the Oblivion Labs. Vansel, go ahead. Thank you, Garter. The proposal is this. We move in a large force somewhat north of the Oblivion Labs, trying to goad out a force of these rift creatures to attack our entrenched position where most of our forces is. The rest of you, using Hydra's gaze, fly in from the south, make your way to the Oblivion Labs on land, dropped off by the airship, which would then turn north to bring in further support to our entrenched position against the rift creatures. Gesturing towards the party, that would imply that you four would be the one infiltrating the actual laboratories, the ruins that we can still access there. The airship will drop you off, make your way on foot into the laboratory, search it for anything potentially useful that we might be able to wield against the rift. I don't know what it is you may be looking for. The Archons do not know what it is you may be looking for. But there is likely to be at least information we can leverage. Speaking of the Archons, they are there on hand to provide backup should you end up needing it. Though most of them will be spending time elsewhere, since they are able to get around as quickly as, well, as you've seen. They lend their aid to other spots around both Hatoria and, I'm told, upon other worlds, gathering information, resources, and hopefully pushing forward plans to free the other Archons. Specifically, Amaru and Arandat will be on hand to extract you should the need arrive.
The two I'm least familiar with. Do we know how to get in touch with them?
Does anything wild happen when he says their full names?
It does not seem to do anything.
All right.
I do believe that you will be able to get a hold of them with this. Garter will pull something out of a pocket, hand it to Vansel. We'll step over to Spark and hand it to Spark before stepping back to the center of the room. It is a small cylinder, almost like a thin rod that looks like it's made out of gray stone but feels like metal. That is a communication rod. You can use it to call out to any of the Archons. You need not even speak their name aloud, as long as you hold it in your hand and call out to them. Should they be able, willing, and capable of it, they will answer. You can use that to get a hold of these two, should you need an extraction.
Sorry, those two or any of the Archons?
It can communicate with any of them. Well, any that have been free and seen here, of course. But specifically those two for your extraction.
Got it.
All right. Anybody who wishes to make a perception or an arcana check at this moment.
God
damn it.
damn, Spark.
Spark, you feel something familiar. And this time, it is familiar in the bad way.
Uh-oh.
The Archons as well seem to react, all of them suddenly freezing in place with wide eyes. And from outside,
Huh?
you hear the scream of someone dying painfully.
Oh.
Well, shit, party's over.
The different delegates will all pause. You'll see Sedna and Lilithus leaping at.
How close to the door did it sound?
That sounded like it was roughly 20 to 30 feet outside the door that you heard the scream come from.
I'm pulling out my new gun.
Spark will push the door open.
Arturo,
Yes?
Lilithus holds out a hand to grip yours and to give it a squeeze. Arturo, please, be safe out there. Sedna and I will see to getting the delegates and everyone else out.
Take them from the village. It won't be good.
The Archons will all suddenly vanish together. Meanwhile, the rest of the delegates and everything seem to be filtering towards this trap door. Sedna is ushering them, putting her body between the door that is now open and the delegates. Yes, you lot. Good luck. We'll take care of these and get them out.
Oh, hi,
Don't
Sedna.
worry.
It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you as well, Master Arturo.
Right. So let's see what the business is. I'll turn into an owlbear.
All right.
Time for the real meeting.
As Spark pushes open the doors, you see outside first the bodies of several of the soldiers dead. Rift creatures milling about, moving towards the building. And large open portals that look like the rifts where more creatures await.
So,
And a couple of individuals that appear not to be rift creatures, but actual cultists.
Oh, that makes sense. So, Cliff Notes, kill cultists, rift close? Question mark?
This is new. We don't know yet.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing open rifts like this.
They usually just pop in on their own. They don't usually need the help.
And then usually when they pop in on their own, does it close when you kill the thing, or like?
Well, they just kind of pop in themselves. The rifts don't stay open.
Oh.
This
They're
is
usually-
bad.
So try killing the cultist first. Got it.
It's as good as guess as any.
Arturo will wild shape into an owlbear like a badass. Okay, gave you permissions and everything. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Spark, you've opened the door. You can see your targets beyond. So let's roll some initiative. Or would you rather wait to do that next time?
No, I'm ready. Although I guess it's more of a question of the people that have work tomorrow.
Yeah, I have an early day tomorrow, so I will roll, but I don't think we can do too much of this.
I don't remember how to roll initiative on this sheet.
Well, it's not like I'm going first anyway, so.
If you go up to the crossed swords and right-click on it, you'll see the combat tracker, and there should be a white die on that you can click on to roll your initiative.
Why is it asking me? Huh?
Because there may be a situation where you have advantage on initiative.
That's fair. I don't suppose I have advantage in this case, even if we're quote-unquote hidden behind a door, wall, thing.
You do, in fact, I believe, have advantage on initiative at this point. But I think that's you specifically, because of your class.
Bruh.
Nice.
Bruh.
I mean, a 5 and a 2, why not, right?
Why not? Oh, those don't look pretty.
Yeah, I just zoomed out and saw the other portal. I thought it was just the guys opposite the door.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
No.
even see the guys opposite the door first. Oh my fuck.
That seems appropriate.
Void. What? Enhancer. Oh, you need to die first. Oh yeah, these names are very hinty.
The first battle is upon us. Rift versus the champions of Hitoria. And we'll find out who wins next time. And that's where we'll call it for today.
Let's go.